The First Minister offered congratulations to the convicted felon Donald Trump on his re-election.
All right, need cheering up? I give you this response from a countryman of mine, Patrick Harvie, co-leader of the Scottish Greens, who felt it was his duty while addressing the First Minister of Scotland, who congratulated Trump, to remind him of the person he was congratulating. And all I have to say is you're bang on, mate.
The First Minister offered congratulations to the convicted felon Donald Trump on his re-election. Writing officially on behalf of the Scottish Government, he wrote that he is sure Scotland's cultural and social ties with the US will flourish during the presidency of a misogynist, a climate denier, a fraudster, a conspiracy monger, a racist, a far-right politician who tried to overturn an election result both covertly and by inciting violence.
Now, this comes after Scotland's First Minister, John Swinney, sent a letter to Trump on Wednesday and another to Vice President-elect JD Vance, congratulating them on their victory, reaffirming that, quote, "The United States of America is Scotland's most important market and source of inward investment, but it is much more than that."
What social and cultural ties does the First Minister really think will benefit from a relationship with such a man?
I have a duty as First Minister of Scotland to engage with other governments and to represent the people of Scotland in that process. And as part of that duty, I wrote the letter in question that Mr Harvie cites. I think there are deep cultural, social and economic ties between Scotland and the United States of America. I think they're important. They're important for employment in our economy. They're important for the cultural expression of our country and for the way in which we are able to pursue those objectives. So, whilst there are very clearly, because of what I said before the presidential election, very big real differences in expression and in priority and in way of life between me and Donald Trump, I cannot deny the existence of links between Scotland and the United States.
Now, I'm not going to reprimand a foreign leader for a run-of-the-mill congratulatory letter in the wake of an election. It's to be expected. But it is also important, right, to highlight the difficult position that leaders across the world find themselves regarding the president-elect, someone that prompts European officials to reaffirm to their citizens that they will protect them. I mean, what does that tell you about Trump?
If he wins, Trump would be the first convicted criminal to win the White House and gain access to the nuclear code.
Man who has made it no secret his affliction for Vladimir Putin, a dictator hell-bent on destabilizing Europe for his own gain. Someone that Trump has said on record he would allow to do, quote, whatever the hell he wants regarding NATO countries. So when Americans opt to elect such a man, of course, officials across the globe are prompted to respond, to reassure their citizens about the global impact, the economic impact, and ultimately the danger it poses.
Trump is telling us what he's going to do, and it's important to listen and also talk about what the impact would actually be of what he's telling us. Now, before we play it, here's a little background. Trump has, of course, long been a big critic and skeptic of NATO, the alliance that's held the world order together for 3/4 of a century. It's been pretty vital, and which came to the defense of the United States, remember, shortly after 9/11. His campaign website even contains this vague but very ominous sentence. "We have to finish the process we began under my administration of fundamentally reevaluating NATO's purpose and NATO's mission." But yesterday, in South Carolina, Trump took things about a mile further than that. He said if NATO countries don't pay more, the U.S. will break its commitment to protect them against a Russian attack. And he said he would encourage Russia to do whatever the hell they want to those countries. Here it is.
NATO was busted until I came along. I said, everybody's going to pay. They said, well, if we don't pay, are you still going to protect us? I said, absolutely not. They couldn't believe the answer. One of the presidents of a big country stood up and said, well, sir, if we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? I said, you didn't pay? You're delinquent? He said, yes, let's say that happened. No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want.
Au fond, moi je trouve que notre rôle ici, ou au sein de l'Union européenne, c'est pas de commenter l'élection de Donald Trump, savoir si c'est bon, pas bon. Il a été élu par le peuple américain. Et il va défendre l'intérêt des Américains. Et c'est légitime et c'est une bonne chose. La question, c'est est-ce que nous, on est prêts à défendre l'intérêt des Européens?
If you look across the board, there are various responses. Look at Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He was one of the first to congratulate the president-elect and gleefully rejoice at one of, quote, history's greatest comebacks that would be a new beginning for America and a powerful recommitment to the great alliance between Israel and America. Reminder for anyone who wondered how Trump's victory would impact the Israel-Palestine war. And Mark Rutte, the former Dutch Prime Minister and now NATO Secretary General, shared his own reaction to Trump's return to power via social media, describing how he had, quote, congratulated him and looked forward to working with him again, but also had to reiterate that Trump is, quote, key to keeping our alliance strong. And then there was this profound speech from Emmanuel Macron saying Donald Trump was elected by Americans to defend the interests of Americans. The question we as Europeans must ask ourselves is, are we ready to defend the interests of Europeans?
Au fond, moi je trouve que notre rôle ici, au sein de l'Union européenne, c'est pas de commenter l'élection de Donald Trump, savoir si c'est bon ou pas bon. Il a été élu par le peuple américain et il va défendre l'intérêt des Américains. Et c'est légitime et c'est une bonne chose. La question, c'est est-ce que nous, on est prêt à défendre l'intérêt des Européens? C'est la seule question qui nous est posée. Et moi, je pense que c'est notre priorité. Et donc, ça ne doit être ni dans un transatlantisme qui serait naïf, ni dans la remise en cause de nos alliances, ni non plus dans un nationalisme étriqué qui ne nous permettrait pas de relever ce défi face à la Chine et aux États-Unis d'Amérique. Et donc, c'est un moment de l'histoire pour nous, Européens, qui est décisif. Au fond, la question qui nous est posée, voulons-nous lire l'histoire écrite par d'autres, les guerres lancées par Vladimir Poutine, les élections américaines, les choix faits par les Chinois en termes technologiques ou commerciaux, ou est-ce qu'on veut écrire l'histoire? Et moi, je pense qu'on a une force pour l'écrire. Nos économies sont fortes, nos pays ont des systèmes de défense sophistiqués, et on représente quelque chose. L'Union européenne, c'est 440 millions d'habitants avec ses 27 pays, et la communauté politique européenne, c'est plus de 700 millions d'habitants. Si on décide d'avoir conscience de ce qu'on représente géopolitiquement, commercialement, c'est une puissance inouïe. Il n'y a aucun marché de 700 millions d'habitants aussi uni par l'histoire, des intérêts, des valeurs que nous autour de cette table. Aucun. Si on se réveille et qu'on décide au fond de ne pas disparaître géopolitiquement et de ne pas être le marché d'ajustement des autres puissances économiquement et commercialement. Et donc pour moi, ce moment, c'est celui où on décide d'agir, de défendre nos intérêts nationaux et européens en même temps, de croire dans notre souveraineté, notre autonomie stratégique, et de dire au fond, on n'a pas envie simplement d'être des clients, d'être un marché qui est pris, de déléguer en fait à d'autres notre économie, nos choix technologiques ou notre sécurité, mais on veut pleinement se saisir de la question de la paix sur notre sol, de notre prospérité et de notre modèle démocratique. Pour moi, c'est ça les trois défis de la communauté politique européenne qu'on a à discuter ensemble.
So again, why feel the need to do this? Why feel the need to offer reassurance to their constituents that are thousands of miles away from the United States, that they have their safety and interest at heart? Because Donald Trump, with his past as proof, doesn't have their interest in his mind or heart at all.
No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want.
I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. Now look, he says a lot of stuff. But that's the Republican frontrunner for the president of the United States, signaling to the Kremlin that he'll give them a free hand to invade their European neighbors if he's given a second term. And as commander-in-chief, he would have the United States stand back and watch it happen. Let's be clear about what that would mean. Any attack on a NATO ally would trigger a massive show of force by its members across the world. That's because under Article 5, an attack on one is considered an attack on all. Just take it from the NATO Secretary General, who responded to Trump's comments with this, quote, any suggestion that allies will not defend each other undermines all of our security, including that of the U.S., and puts American and European soldiers at increased risk. And Donald Trump is not only saying he wouldn't come to the defense of a NATO ally, he's inviting Russia to attack them. I just cannot tell you how terrifying that type of language is for our allies sitting and hearing and listening to what he's saying. And also how happy it must make Vladimir Putin. That's more than the Kremlin could have asked for, even from Donald Trump.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.